Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ, but welcome also to the Zone. So this is part of a series of videos I'm doing where I'm kind of exploring the options for bringing the Stalker universe or elements of Stalker gameplay and DayZ and Armour closer together, because these games, especially DayZ and Stalker, have a lot of shared DNA between them. If you're not familiar with Stalker, Stalker 2, at the time of making this video, is about to come out in about a week's time, so I'd imagine there's going to be an awful lot of interest in the Stalker universe. As long as Stalker 2 is good, of course. If it's rubbish, then maybe there won't be. But Stalker has a really passionate fan base and also a passionate modding base as well. And being set in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, Stalker and obviously DayZ set in like a kind of an infected zombie apocalypse. The kind of, that's kind of similar as well. But there's so much in common between the games that I would really like to bring the immersive parts of sort of Stalker and DayZ together. Now, you might well say, and you'd be right, saying, well, haven't lots of people done this already, Rob? And the answer to that is yes, of course they have. But there's not that many tutorials out there kind of showing you how to do it yourself. And also, I really want to come at this from a single player or sort of maybe, a co-op point of view, rather than jumping onto like a public DayZ server where the chances are you're going to come up against other players who are determined to kill you and take your kit off you. So let's take a step backwards first. So this map we're on now, this terrain we're on now, is Stalker-THEZONE, which was released in March 2023. Did have one update, and it says here is a regularly updated, improved fork of the old Stalker exclusion zone map from the 3 Stalker Games trilogy. And so it does include iconic locations from the original Stalker games. So what is Stalker? So Stalker, the original Stalker games came out in 2007, 8 and 9. And the story behind them is that there was the original Chernobyl nuclear power plant explosion in 1986. But then there was another explosion a few years later. And the exclusion zone had been all sealed off by the military. But what happened was there started to be these strange anomalies occurring, which were like local gravitational anomalies, and fire and lightning. So as you'd wander around, you'd see. What was that noise? So as you'd wander around, you would see like these lightning sort of spread around, or you would get electrocuted, things like that. And near these anomalies, you would find, if you had the right detectors, artifacts. And these artifacts were worth an awful lot of money. So what happened was people would sneak into the zone past the military, and these people would be stalkers, and they would then proceed to try and find artifacts to smuggle them out or sell them to traders within the zone to make their fortune. And so within the zone, in this cut-off area of Ukraine, you would have all these different types of people. So you'd have stalkers, you'd have bandits who preyed on the stalkers, you'd have traders, you'd have military, you'd have ex-military, you'd have scientists, you'd have freedom fighters, all this sorts of things. Hello. And here we go. We've got zombies. And the games were very open world. So it was a first-person, single-player, semi-open world experience. So for the time, it was probably very open world. With the idea you'd have these big areas that when you got to the edge of them, you would then be transported to the next area. So it's very cool. The story is really good fun. The atmosphere is really good. There's lots of busy work to do as well. So it's not just a case of going from following the storyline, from quest mission to quest mission. There's side quests to do. You can go off and do your own thing. Oh, hello. What on earth is that? Did that thing just go? Did that just disappear? Or did he hide behind the bush? Or you could you go hunting for artifacts. Oh god, they sound horrible, these zombies, don't they? There are zombies in Stalker as well. Oh. So you could go off and find artifacts and then sell them to get better armor, to get better guns, to get better equipment, all this sort of thing, which would then allow you to progress further within the game. So it's really cool. It's great fun. I highly recommend you pick up at least Shadow of Chernobyl, which is the first Stalker game, and then and have a go, have a play of it. You can get them on console now with the Legends of the Zone trilogy, where they've sorted out some of the bugs, made them a little bit more playable, and I've played through all 3 of the original games on console, and they're really good. And there's all sorts of mods as well that you can get, because what happened was GSC, the kind of publishers and the devs behind the Stalker games, and if I get this wrong I do apologise, but they kind of ceased to exist in, I think, about 2012, and then the game files for the Stalker games became available. Now, I don't think they were officially released, but they just became available, which meant that modders having access to the game files could then do all these mods. And they not only were they doing sort of game mods, which I think it had existed already, but they were also able to do standalone mods, which basically is their own games. So you can download, for example, Stalker Anomaly as its own game and play it. And GSE, because I guess they didn't exist, they didn't go after any of these mods to shut them down. And even now that GSC is back in business and is making Stalker 2, they've said, look, we don't mind these mods existing as long as people put the links to the original games like in the menus, so that encourages people to buy the original games, which I think is a very good attitude to have, because those mods, especially the standalone mods, really help to keep the Stalker community alive. And you may even have heard of things like Stalker Gamma, Stalker Anomaly, and then Stalker Gamma, which is a mod pack for Stalker. So, if we think about the real strengths of what made, for me, Stalker fun, is the fact that it's kind of open world. There's tasks to do. The atmosphere is really, really good. You've got anomalies, you've got artifacts, you've got busy work, going around and finding things and selling them and then upgrading your kit and all that sort of stuff. That really fits in well with the way that the DayZ engine works. Because one of the real big strengths of DayZ are its atmosphere. The fact that there aren't really quests to do, but you do have this open world where you have you can do whatever you like. Your only thing that you have to do is survive. So I really like to bring these together. Now, I know lots of people have already done this, and there are servers where you can do this. But again, I want to come at this really from a single player or a co-op point of view, where what you would probably be doing is maybe just running a local server on your PC, and then you would fire it up like a single player game and play through it like that. Or maybe on like a passworded or whitelisted server where you're playing co-op with friends rather than a big open server. The problem with a lot of the Stalker stuff is a lot of it is, if you go into the DayZ Workshop, a lot of it is in Russian, so you're not quite sure what the mods do. And I think quite a few of the servers are quite defensive of their mod packs. So you'll see lots of things saying, do not use this mod on another server, and things like that. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes when I'm doing this. So in these videos where we're kind of looking at some of this stuff, we're going to be using mods that are freely available and which people are saying, you can use them. Don't worry about this. My kind of vision is kind of twofold. I think this is really, really impressive, this terrain. And so you could have like the Stalker terrain upon which you're basically playing, just like you would with the Stalker standalone mod. You're playing Stalker but set in a time period, I don't know, either like before or after the OG series, or with Stalker 2 before or after, that sort of thing. So you're not one of the characters from the main games. You're just a Stalker in the zone, surviving, going around, finding artifacts, buying things. Ideally, I would like to introduce quests as well. So we're looking at DayZ expansion, probably, and AI NPCs as well. So again, with factions. That's where you have DayZ expansion really comes into its own. And I think you could do this on any of the DayZ maps as well. So imagine playing Churnerus, but not only is there the normal survival mechanics that occur, but you've also got anomalies that are popping off, making life dangerous, but also giving you an opportunity, excuse me, to earn money. See all these locations, these right out of the first game. This is brilliant. We go round because there's lots of zombies. Oh, we've got to go through that bit, haven't we? Oh, wait a minute. This is... Oh, he doesn't look very well, does he? And you've also got the Stalker monsters, the mutants, like the flesh dogs, pseudo giants, and things like that. It would have to be balanced fairly well, because obviously in DayZ, if you die, you end up going back to the coast, don't you? As a starting point, there's no kind of respawning like there are in a single player game. See, that is a stalker suit there that guy's got on. That's very good. So you could do that like on Churnerus or Livonia or Sakal, any of those sorts of things, and I think it would kind of extend the gameplay loop. And then if you introduced like expansion quests as well, you could have things like, go to this area and kill all the zombies in this area, or take this thing to this other person. Ooh. And I think that would be really good fun. Really, really good fun. And it would play to the strengths of both. So the idea of these series of videos is just really looking at some of these mods that are available, some of these terrains. Like that is a classic Stalker suit there. And just thinking about things. And of course, if you're in the comments and you're watching this thing, actually, Rob, I know how to do this. What you really want to do is look at these mods, and these mods. Then I think that would be most helpful. Also, I guess I should also mention that I like things to be fairly light in terms of the number of mods to do something. I don't like going to a server where there's 50 mods that you need to download that take up hundreds of gigabytes of space on your PC. And they also slow down your PC as well, and can be a challenge when you're running on lower powered PC. So that's another sort of thing that's coming along. So anyway, back to this terrain. I mean, we can already see it's pretty cool. So I think what we should probably do is we do have a map. So let's have a look at the map. And if we zoom in a bit, we can kind of, I think the details do they start to come through? Yeah, okay. So Cordon, that's where we started off. You've got the Great Swamps. That's, in fact, I'll tell you what. Let's go to, let's fly around and have a look. So the Great Swamps is where you start off in Clear Sky. Let's see if we can find our way. See, it's a pretty big terrain, this. There we go. So that there... Oh, right, okay, I don't know what that is, actually. I was going to say that's the Clear Sky base, but it's not. Let's see if we can bring up the map. Okay, military checkpoint. Okay, yeah, that is a base I am familiar with. I think Duty are based there in one of the games. So let's go over this way. All right, here we go. So this is the Great Swamps. When you play Clear Sky, this is where you start off. So their base will be the original. There's the church. Oh gosh, this is so good. That is brilliant. If you've played the games, and you weren't aware of this, you'd be watching this going, wow, that's amazing. Okay, so do we just jump over their base? No, that's not their base. Here we go. So this is the Clear Sky base. So when you play Clear Sky, the prequel, which is the second game, this is where you start off. This is amazing. This is brilliant. Now I've only got this is where the trader is. Now I've only got kind of the terrain loaded in, and I've got the mission files as well. So that's why you're seeing loot and you're seeing zombies. So I just really wanted. Oh, this is done so well. The beauty of the Stalker community and the modding community is they are so passionate about these games. This is where you normally find the engineer guy who will repair your kit. Oh, that is so good. So good. Can we bring up a map here? Teleport tools. It's not particularly good, that, is it? Let's go back to good old Zombie. So we've got the Great Swamps. Agripon is like a industrial area. So you've got the Research Institute there. Let's go over here. Yeah, these are really good. Actually, no, that's where we just were, weren't we? Yeah, that's amazing. Let's have a look. Swamp Factory, Quiet Village. We want Garbage is a famous place. There's called Military Checkpoint, Vehicle Graveyard, Garbage. Here we go. Let's go here. Here we go. This is really, really good. If you're wondering why I'm laughing, it's because when you play Shadow of Chernobyl or any of the original games, you've got to remember, the games are, what was it, 2007, aren't they? So that's 10. So they're almost 20 years old. Now the DayZ engine isn't the most beautiful engine in the world, but it's considerably better than what they were working with on the original Stalker games. So the ability to be able to walk around these places in a modern engine is very, very cool indeed. It just, there's so much more detail. And of course, the beauty with DayZ is because you have this one massive map, you have that better sense of immersion. The idea that you're moving away from it being a video game and you're moving towards the fact that it's a simulator, which I think is very, very exciting indeed. Right, okay, so where else can we look at? Garbage, flea market. See, if I zoom out too far, you don't. So there's Rostock, Truck Cemetery, Yantar. Let's have a look at Yantar, shall we? These are just general areas, but okay. So this is all right. So that's the entrance I think you normally go into. Got the buildings. So much love has gone into this. Gosh, I remember fighting loads of mutants around this particular area. Absolutely cool. And then Dead City. Oh yes, this is really nice. This is really nice. See where we can. Right, we need to fly around this. Here we go. So this is a famous. So we put our character here. This is a famous kind of view here, out onto this statue. How cool is that? There's so much. I'm kind of overwhelmed with how much detail there is on this terrain. Limansk. Yeah, look at this. This is fantastic. Let's see let's just go for a fly and see what else we have. Now this is very interesting here. I was thinking. So when you play, I think it's Call of Pripyat, one of the things you have to do is you have to get to Pripyat, you have to go through this underground area, and they've reproduced this here. And you start off in this warehouse, and you go down here, like so. Let's see if we can get into the right place. I think we've come down too far. And you fight your way through this whole underground section. And they've reproduced it here. You go through these doors. And you fight your way through all this bit. You're doing this in the dark. And I'm probably going to go the wrong way now, mate. Yeah. Let's see where it goes. That looks like the door you go through. Here we go. Down here, through here, into here, and then up here, and then into this massive dome area. Look at this! This is just like in the game. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And then, from what I remember, in the game, you go into here. Oh, I guess in here you go through this bit. Go through these doors. Go through these doors. Go around here. And is there a... Okay, well, anyway, you end up going... And when you come up, you're then in Pripyat. So, maybe this is an unfinished portion of the map, because there is no Pripyat, as far as I'm aware, on this particular terrain. There's the deserted hospital. Is that there? Is it? Oh, yeah. So there's nothing here. So what areas? What area is this? So we're on construction site. So this is kind of like the radar, isn't it? This is a real famous battle. You fight your way through this place in one of the games. But look at all these buildings. Oh, there's a crash over there. Helicopter crash. So going back to the other area that kind of looked kind of incomplete because of the way that had the other bit covering it, what we could do is you could seal that place off with a the red forest. You could seal that place off with, say, toxic gas, and so people would never get to see the top of it, and then we could transport people into that complex using the new restricted area method. Look at it again. This will be familiar if you played the games. You'll be familiar with this area, fighting lots of enemies down into, where's the wall? There we go, through this entrance here. Because when you play in the games, you kind of go through areas and then you fast travel somewhere else. But I remember hiding behind this wall and lobbing grenades over, and then so many anomalies and so many mutants in this. This is the red forest through here, and then over here there should be a bridge. There another bridge? Yeah. So this is the place of a battle that you have. So let's spawn in our character. You have this real big battle here because you've got to try and lower this drawbridge to get over there to that city. And this is this is just like it. This is amazing. This is so good. Okay, this is very exciting. Yeah, because you go through here. I'm sure this is Lemansk it goes to. Let's have a look. I need to talk to people who know. Yeah, Lemansk. It says Lemansk underneath. Bridge to Lemansk. Yeah, and you would go. I'm pretty sure you would go through there in the game, and you would end up in Lemansk. Wow, this is a very impressive map. Very impressive. Yeah, I'm very impressed with that. Okay, so Stalker-THEZONE. There's so many others we need to look at to kind of figure out what we're going to do. But I think there's definitely enough of there's definitely enough terrain to have a big enough area to be wandering around and just doing your normal DayZ survival stuff. Going from place to place, surviving, and then if you could add in, the Stalker stuff with the anomalies and with the artifacts and with the trader, because there's even things like on the workshop to make Dr. Jones' trader look like a Stalker trader, all that sort of stuff. We can add that in, and then if we can add expansion as well, so you could have NPCs, that would be so cool. So you could have quests, that would be, and NPCs, that would be really good. Okay, so I'm kind of a bit of a lost word for this, because this is very, very impressive indeed. So just kind of, what can we do next? Anyway, you're welcome to come along on this adventure, this exploration of how we can bring the DayZ and the Stalker, the best of both worlds, together in kind of a single player or co-op experience. And this has kind of been the first DayZ video in that series of it anyway, where we've been looking at Stalker-THEZONE map, and I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully you'll find this interesting. I know it's been a bit of a ramble, and of course I'll see you again soon.